Question number 1. What are the advantages and disadvantages of traveling by air? What are the advantages and disadvantages of traveling by air? Please pause the video here and answer on your own before proceeding to my answer. Okay, here is my answer. First explanation in Hindi. एयर से इधर उधर ट्रैवल करने का फ़ायदे क्या है, नुकसान क्या है? एडवांटेजेस, प्रोज, डिसएडवांटेजेस, demerits, cons, and also by air, by aircraft, by airplane. Now the answer in English. The primary advantage of traveling by air or by an aircraft is obvious. It saves time, and time, as we all know, is the most precious commodity planet. It's more valuable than money, because with time we can earn money, but with money we cannot earn time. However, the disadvantages or cons or demerits are also obvious. It creates a lot of pollution. When an aircraft flies, it uses a lot of fuel, and it creates a lot of green air. It creates a lot of greenhouse gases. Also, it's the most expensive way of traveling. So one has to balance between the two to decide whether he would travel by air or by any other means of transport. Question number 2. Why do some people just dislike air travel? Why do some people just dislike air travel? Please pause the video here and answer on your own before proceeding to hear my suggestion. Okay, my suggestion is, why do some people dislike some air travel? कुछ लोग बस air travel को नापसंद क्यों करते हैं? Dislike, do not like, are not comfortable with. Here is the answer in English. People do not like things which they do not know about. And air travel is something which is totally connected to technology, and people fear it. One is packed in a tube and thrown high up in the air at a very high speed, and then you are trapped. You can't do anything about it. You can't get off the plane. You can't ask the plane to land down. So you always fear that the plane may crash. Plus, there are some additional discomforts associated with air travel which make people avoid it. One, the huge security paraphernalia then one has to get through. Second is when the air pressure changes, you feel a certain amount of discomfort. These things also add to the factors which make people dislike air travel. Question number 3. What are the advantages and disadvantages of living near an airport? This question can be asked in another way. Is it good to live near an airport? What are the advantages and disadvantages of living near an airport? Or is it good to live nearby an airport? Please pause the video here and answer on your own before proceeding to my suggestion. Okay. फ़ायदे क्या हैं, नुकसान क्या हैं एक एयरपोर्ट के पास रहने के? Here is the answer in English. I think the demerits would easily outnumber the merits of having a residence near an airport. You have to bear a lot of noise pollution with all those aircrafts taking off or landing, and people usually avoid places which are very near airports, and airports are located outside, well outside city limits. Also, I think it will be the more polluted area. As we all know, aircrafts create a lot of pollution. So if you have to ask me about an advantage, then I can say that the only advantage I can think of is that you can commute easily to the airport if you want to take a flight. That is the one advantage that I can think of. Thank you. Now, if the question is asked, is it good to live nearby an airport? It will be the same answer, but answered in a slightly different way. I don't think so. I would have my reservations of taking up a place which is nearby an airport because of the obvious reasons. There will be a lot of noise pollution as the aircraft take off or land, and you have to bear it. Then there will be a lot of pollution also in that area as the aircrafts leave their greenhouse gases as they take off or land. Also, uh, the only advantage I can see is that if you're near a place, an aircraft, you can travel easily to the aircraft once you have uh, the access to the aircraft. That is easier now. However, I think I can think of one more advantage. Usually these places are open places, so you'll have your residence away from the crowded places of your city. However, I would personally prefer to live away from an airport. What do you prefer, a lower price or more expensive but comfortable flight? Why? What do you prefer, a lower price or more expensive but comfortable flight? Why? Please pause the video here and answer before you go on to my suggestion. Okay. आप क्या चॉइस है आपकी, क्या ऑप्शन है? एक कम प्राइस वाला एयरक्राफ्ट एयर फ्लाइट लेनी कि ज़्यादा एक्सपेंसिव, ज़्यादा महंगी, है ना, एंड लेकिन कंफर्टेबल फ्लाइट, और क्यों? If you ask me, my choice would depend on the budget, and it would depend on the flight duration. If it's a short flight, I will not mind taking a cheaper option because it will be in the aircraft only for a short period of time. So little bit of discomfort would be okay. But say the flight is a long one, it's for several hours, and also if I have money in my pocket, I would prefer the more expensive the option if it is more comfortable, because these lower price seats have very little leg space and one can become crammed over a long period of time. So a longer flight would be, maybe I would go for the higher cost tickets. Question number 5. Would you like to work at the airport? Would you like to work at the airport? Please pause the video here and answer on your own before listening to my suggestion. क्या आपको एयरपोर्ट पे काम करना पसंद होगा? Well, since childhood, I have been fascinated by the airports. Is the hustle, the bustle, the excitement of aircrafts landing, taking off. It all has a great attraction for me. And the place has an ambience, it has a look, an aura, which is definitely different from any other place. So I would definitely not mind working at an airport, because I would feel that I'm doing something which is exciting. Having said that, I think once the excitement wears off, the job at an airport can become a bit boring. But to start with, I would give it a go.